I've never been interested in Larry Bird's career because I've never really cared for the Boston Celtics. And I really didn't start watching basketball, I want to say, until maybe the third championship of Michael Jordan or so is when I started getting into a position where I could watch basketball consistently. And even then, I was kind of a cat. I only watched the Bulls games for the most part. I didn't really watch a lot of other games. I learned most of my basketball knowledge came from like NBA Live and video games and stuff like that. So that's how I learned about Larry Bird's game. Probably first was playing video games. Actually going into his catalog, because I'm not a big fan of the NBA today. So looking back on these old videos is a lot of fun for me. But yeah, we got a new one for you guys where I'm going to be reacting to NBA players. Well, what's the title of it? It says here, Larry Bird stories that prove he was the best trash talker. All right, do me a big favor and like the video if you guys like this type of content. Let's go.
Larry Bird was one of the biggest trash talkers in basketball. And a lot of people say, really? You know, they thought it was Reggie or Charles.
Bird used to tell me, look here, man. You supposed to be a great defender, right? And I'm going to make sure I tell you where I'm going to shoot the ball at.
Yeah, he said, I'm going to get it right.
And what's crazy is I've always thought it was like Charles Barkley because he always got the highlights. Now, why I didn't watch basketball when Larry Bird was playing, it just shocked me because he doesn't look like the kind of guy that would just straight trash talk you and put fear in people's hearts. You know, I never knew this.
Right here, I'm gonna shoot it right in your face.
And I'm looking at this guy like, he's nuts.
I'm gonna go shoot this motherfucking jumper in your face right there in that corner, and it's gonna be your Christmas present.
On the glove. He's talking to the glove like that, which is crazy.
Here, I'm gonna shoot it right in your face.
And I'm looking at this guy like, he's nuts.
I'm gonna go shoot this motherfucking jumper in your face right there in that corner, and it's gonna be your Christmas present. I'm gonna wrap it up and bust your head open.
And that's exactly what he did.
If he tell you you're gonna hit a shot in a certain place, he gonna do just that, and ain't nothing you can do about it.
Been a better player each step I took. I was able to go up more than the other guys. I had a green light. I could make plays, but I always knew early on, especially when I was a junior, senior high school, that probably the outcome of the game was gonna depend on me.
Well, yeah, I interviewed
He said he knew he was a dog early. See, I never experienced that on the court. You know, I always considered myself, I just played casually, but, you know, we used to play, I come from here, we used to play ball for like 8 hours. You know, we would just hoop all day. And I always took it as a sign of disrespect when people would score on me. Like, if you told me that you were going to score on me and how you want to score on me, I want to steal it from you 100%. And so I always prided myself on my defense, which is why, like, Dwayne Wade was one of my favorite players because I used to love how he was an undersized guard but would just throw people's stuff across the court. The glove was really good at locking people up too. So when you got a defender, when you got a scorer like Larry Bird talking to people that are known for playing defense, telling them what he's going to do, that's a different level.
I had a green light. I could make plays, but I always knew early on, especially when I was a junior, senior high school, that probably the outcome of the game was going to depend on me.
Well, yeah, I interviewed Gary Payton, a venomous trash talker.
Yes.
And I asked him who the most vicious trash talker he's ever encountered. He said Larry Bird. Oh, no question.
Wow. Bird talk shit like we talk.
Let me tell y'all something. Bird used to tell me, look here, man. I'm gonna go shoot this motherfucking jumper in your face right there in that corner, and it's gonna be your Christmas present. I'm gonna wrap it up and bust your head open. All that shit. He told me, young fella, let me tell you something. I can shoot a jumper anywhere I want to. You supposed to be a great defender, right? I'm gonna make sure I tell you where I'm gonna shoot the ball at. And I was like, man, come on now, you're not gonna shoot the ball.
Wow. Okay. I'm kind of sad I missed this time. You know, I don't know if this was ever picked up. You know, you can hear what the players are saying half the time on the court now. So I don't know if this ever made way. Was this always known about Larry Bird?
And so he said, I'm gonna take you over in that corner right there. You see it over there by my bench, right? And I'm gonna give you something, and it's gonna be this jumper. So he went right to that corner, and I'm up on him, I'm under him. And he said, young fella, what did I tell you I was gonna do? And he turned around, raised up, and it was all drawn.
Unstoppable.
And I said, shit, I ain't gonna mess with you no more. He's the coldest dude I ever seen with that shit, man. Everybody be talking about these greats. They'll be always mentioning him. He was the shit. Wow. Yeah, the shit, man. He'll give it to you any way he wanted to. Larry Bird was cold.
Bird didn't talk trash to you,
Oh my God, Bird talked trash to everybody. I always tell the story about Larry Bird. I remember him.
Charles Barkley is one of my favorite personalities in sports, him and Mike Wilbon. I like Charles Barkley because he gets a lot of hate and for things he says, but he's unapologetic and he's actually speaking what's on his mind. I think he's being honest about how he truly feels. So I've always liked him regardless of what people thought about him. And then, these stories are great, especially to talk trash on Charles Barkley, who's my favorite power forward.
Oh my God, Bird talk trash to everybody. I always tell the story about Larry Bird. I remember him, he was cursing under his breath. And I asked him, I said, Larry, what's going on with you? He says, you guys are being disrespectful to me. And I says, what are you talking about? He says, you guys are putting a white guy on me. That's disrespectful. I just started laughing. I had no comeback. He says, it's disrespectful when y'all put a white guy on me.
Larry said,
listen, there's some truth to that even with me, okay? And I'll admit this. I don't think this way. But whenever a white guy was guarding me, I used to always call isolation, okay? I wanted the isolation. Hopefully there's not a defender. I'm not a tall guy, okay? I'm around 5'9"ish, and a lot of times, but I used to play like a big guy or whatever. But I also prided myself on my handling skills, my crossover abilities. If a white guy was guarding me, I took it as a sign of disrespect, and I looked to punish him. Now, these days, these guys are different, okay? But back in the day, I'm talking about way back in the day, that's how I thought. Since then, I've met some unstoppable dudes that are white that just don't miss.
I'm insulted that they would put a sorry dude like you on me. He said, no, I don't even want to play no more. He would drop the ball and take a turnover. And I'm looking at this guy like, he's nuts,
That's insane. That is next level trolling. Next level. Okay, that's what LeBron was missing.
The story goes that when he played against Denver, they had a guy named John Hansley, a white guy, really good defender, right?
Okay.
They put him on Larry, and Larry was weighing his ass out.
Absolutely.
And Larry would run by the bench.
It's poetry in motion.
Story goes that when he played against Denver, they had a guy named John Hansley, a white
like them jerseys. Denver always got some nice jerseys.
guy, really good defender, right?
Okay.
They put him on Larry, and Larry was weighing his ass out.
Absolutely.
And Larry would run by the bench and tell Doug Moe, who was the coach, get him off me. That's disrespectful. Put a black guy on me. Because when he played back in the day, that's all he played against was brothers.
Yeah.
So he was like, I had to torch his ass so they understand.
And Larry got on the roll, started shooting the ball. Every shot was going in. All right, he runs by Frank Layden, who's the funniest guy in the league, and Frank is coaching, and Larry says to him, hey, Frank, don't you have anybody on that bench that can guard me? He goes, so nobody out here can. Frank looked down at the bench and goes, no.
Wow.
Along with Steve Jones and Rick Barry, this is Bob Neal. Just moments before the American Airlines Sheraton long-distance shootout.
The All-Star game is in Dallas, the first three-point contest, and he just starts looking at guys.
Listen, I love this kind of stuff. All right, and I love that YouTube exists because it's like looking in a time machine. Back in the day, you might have had to go find a documentary with something like this on it, and I did not know this. As a fan of basketball, I've never considered myself to be like an expert by any means, just a casual fan. But all this stuff is genuinely new to me about Larry Bird. I did not know this. I didn't know he was talking trash. I would have put money that Michael Jordan was a bigger trash talker than Larry Bird had I not known this.
Say a word and people are getting kind of nervous. Everybody's sitting there, everybody's real quiet. You knew the guys, but you never were around them. And nobody's really saying anything. So I walk in and look around, and then he finally speaks and says, I'm just looking to see who's going to finish second.
And says, I hope all you guys in here are thinking about second place because
He's like Conor McGregor.
I'm winning this.
Excuse me?
Did you really say that? Who's playing for second?
Yeah, I did. I felt so bad.
When you walked in there, what were you thinking when you made that announcement to the room? Just messing with all those guys?
I know going into that, I remember in the locker room, Robert said something that there's no way in hell I was going to win that three-point contest. So I knew right then I had to win.
That chick's had my name on it for a week now, and I knew I was going to win this thing. I got
to start reacting to full games with Larry Bird in them. You guys got to like the video, leave a comment if you want to see that.
They said I wasn't going to win it, but I came back.
Especially the Larry Magic feud.
Back and lucked out, really.
Bird would luck out again the next year, but in 1988, it looked like his luck had finally run out. He certainly doesn't have that normal Bird rhythm going for him.
I never liked his form, okay? And my brother, when we used to play 2K, he would pick Larry Bird, and I couldn't really shoot very well. With people, when I don't like their form, I can't shoot as well with them. I haven't played 2K in probably over 7 years, who knows. But I never liked Larry Bird's form, but he used to knock him down.
Seconds remaining, has only 7, has to be 15. That's 8, make it 9, and 10.
Although it's a perfect form for someone his height.
At 11 as we're counting. 13.
Huge rack that time for Bird.
We still got to drop one here quickly. 14.
Clutch.
This is a tie for the money.
He knew exactly what the score was. He knew that that ball was going to win the competition for him, and it's almost like he did it in dramatic fashion just to make it more fun.
So is it fair to say that he's the second most clutch player behind Michael Jordan, or where does Magic fall on that? You guys who are basketball experts, let me know, who is more clutch, Larry Bird or Michael Jordan? My money's on Mike because he was 6 for 6, I believe, versus Larry. I know he lost some.
He knew it when he let it go and was headed for the winner's circle. He didn't take off his top yet. Oh, yeah. I didn't see when he took off his top.
He didn't take his top off.
Larry used to come in the locker rooms. He'd be getting his ankles taped, and he'd say, hey, ball boy, run in and go find the scoring record in this building. He needed those kind of challenges.
He had accomplished every goal. We hadn't lost a game on the trip.
Yo, that's Kobe level psychopathness. I know that's not a word, but
He'd get his ankles taped, and he'd say, hey, ball boy, run in and go find the scoring record in this building. He needed those kind of challenges.
He had accomplished every goal. We hadn't lost a game on the trip. And Larry told all of us players and the media too, tomorrow night's the last game of the trip, I'm going to play this one left-handed at least through 3 quarters.
It was at a time when, McHale was still coming off the bench.
And so Larry scores his 6th point on a left-handed shot.
And I'll never forget it. McHale yells out.
And McHale goes, hey, Jerome, wait till he starts shooting right-handed.
And at the end of 3 quarters, and then get 27 points left-handed.
The hook with the left. I could never shoot with my left. I could only lay up with my left.
I'm going to play this one left-handed.
I probably get a free throw with
it. At least through 3 quarters.
It was at a time when, McHale was still coming off the bench.
And so Larry scores his 6th point on a left-handed shot.
And I'll never forget it. McHale yells out.
And McHale goes, hey, Jerome, wait till he starts shooting right-handed.
And at the end of 3 quarters, and then
that was a pump hook.
27 points left-handed. Well, left-handed is one thing, but when the game got close, I had to go back to the right one.
He could hold all these things in his head during the game. So he'd have a shooting drill at the old Boston Garden.
4:30 in the afternoon. I was an early guy. I'd set up early. The garden would be dark.
Late in the afternoon by himself. Dark garden, come out with an equipment guy and just do the perimeter, shoot for half hour. All you heard was swishing.
If he missed a shot during that thing, he'd say that the Bull Gang set up something wrong with the rim. Otherwise that would have gone in.
I'd get there early, plug in my Stone Age computer right next to the bench. He'd come over, he'd call me Scoop, say, Scoop, what are you working on? I'm saying, I'm doing an early story.
And I'd say, well, I'm doing an early edition newspaper story about your free throw streak.
You were approximating the NBA record for consecutive free throws, so don't miss one tonight or I'll look bad in the paper.
Sure enough. First half, he goes to the line for 2, and the foul line is lined up right where we're sitting if he looks over.
He's at the line. He makes the first.
He looks over and winks at me.
He looks over and winks at me before he makes the second. I mean, guys don't do that today. And he would...
Always thinking about these things. It's like paying off a bet in the middle of a game.
And what's crazy is I don't know if... Well, I do know. We'll never see anything like this again because people will never love the game like they did back then, even from the players to the fans. Back then, we were more sports. Sports is what united Americans, and these days there's a lot more things for people to do, a lot more people to get into, hobbies and things of that nature. But a lot of these guys, Larry Bird, you can tell, just loved the game and just worked on his game, and they weren't getting paid what these players are getting paid today, to not even come anywhere near as as competitive as it was back then.
Doing 2 things at once.
Well, you had the Bird night.
I had the Bird night. Yeah, that was
Doc Rivers.
That was a tough night, man.
But nobody was guarding Bird, were they?
Well, we were trying.
You were trying to.
But when a guy is literally coming up the court, calling his shots, it's in that game, we're on the free throw line, and he literally says,
"It's off the glass. Who's next? Where do you want this one from?" And he just made one after another. And he just tortured them mentally that game. He tortured all of them.
I think Bird went by the bench one time, too.
He fell in the bench.
Oh,
and he called that one. That was the one where he fell in it. He literally said, off the glass into the trainer. And,
wow.
His last shot.
Wow.
He said, in the trainer's lap, coming down the court.
Off the glass into the trainer. He's playing horse out there with NBA players.
He shot this high rainbow It goes in, Ricky bumps into him and he knocks him on our trainer's lap. So it was exactly what he said.
Antoine Carr and Cliff Levingston got fined by Fratello, I think.
And Eddie Johnson for celebrating.
Celebrating Bird.
Yeah, it was the best film session. Every time when I see Mike, we still laugh.
God,
it was the greatest film session ever, because back then, you watched the real game and just went, with a video, and Mike rewound the celebration 20 times.
And they show a shot of our bench. Cliff Livingston and Eddie Johnson are standing up giving each other high five.
I mean, everybody was entertained by this.
That's crazy. Talk about the loyalty. Off subject, is Doc Rivers an overrated coach?
Mike rewound the celebration 20 times.
And they show a shot of our bench. Cliff Livingston and Eddie Johnson are standing up giving each other high five.
I mean, everybody was entertained by this. Even the guys on the Atlanta bench.
They got fined for that, I heard.
Yeah. Watch the reactions on the Atlanta bench.
I love that they can get fined for that. It makes the celebration that much better.
Yeah, watch Cliff Livingston. Come on over here. I think this is Cliff. What the?
Good thing he didn't have a smartphone.
Jello wouldn't let it go. It just kept rewinding. Showing the guys, you remember, they're giving each other high five.
And then somebody falls off the bench.
Yeah, that was Eddie Johnson.
Yeah.
Eddie Johnson falls off the bench in laughter, and Antoine Carr and Cliff gives each other high five. And our film session was 20 minutes of that. And, and so it was a bad night.
And Michael Jordan's a funny dude, so I know it's hilarious.
The first game against Larry Bird, it was shocking. And I'm a rookie, I go shake his hand, and he put both hands behind his back. And I'm saying, okay, he's getting his head ready to play. First play of the game, he says, I don't know where they got you guarding me, Holmes. And he shoots a 3. I was pissed. I said, I wasn't mad he hit the 3. But this bitch just called me Holmes, And so it's set up for a really interesting game. Because I remember one time I came down and I dunked it on him. He landed on the ground. He fouled me. And
What a photo. It's beautiful. Look at his face.
I remember one time I came down and I dunked it on him. He landed on the ground. He fouled me. And I'm pointing. And he said, hey, Rook. I said, what? He said, I like you. He said, you got balls, but I'm still going to get 30 on your ass.
But I got to see that dunk again. That was vicious.
But this bitch just called me Holmes, And so it's set up for a really interesting game. Because I remember one time I came down and I dunked it on him.
It's a beautiful photo.
And on the ground, he fouled me, and I'm pointing.
Pow!
And he said, hey, Rook. I said, what? He said, I like you. He said, you got balls, but I'm still going to get 30 on your ass.
It's all right as long as you get 30.
Yeah, about 38, so he kind of proved his point. But I had to pay my dues. I wasn't upset about that because, back then, as a rookie, you got to pay your dues.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
The fact that you got that, Wilkins had stupid ups, though. But you got that dunk off on him was still, that's like when Iverson crossed Jordan.
It's funny, the first time that I played in my rookie year, I guarded Larry Bird, and it took me about 10 minutes to realize I should be probably guarding him instead of staring at him. And he came down. It was funny. He came down one time, and Mark West was the center on our team. And Larry looked at me, and then he looked at Mark, and he said, Mark, I'm going to go down. I'm going to come off the screen. I'm going to catch it right there. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to shoot it in the rookie's face, and then I'm going to run down the floor. And that's exactly what he did.
That's why I like Shaq, okay? If you said to Shaq what you was going to do, Shaq was going to hit you with one of them elbows, and you ain't going to say it again, okay? Some of you might not agree with that, but that's why I like Shaq.
Mark, I'm going to go down. I'm going to come off the screen. I'm going to catch it right there. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to shoot it in the rookie's face.
What you say there, young fella?
And then I'm going to run down the floor. And that's exactly what he did. And I'm sitting there. That just happened.
But did he talk to you, or you weren't
He
good
talked
enough?
through me. He never addressed me.
I love that.
Like I wasn't even there.
And did
He talked through me.
Mark West go on.
Mark was like, all right,
okay, yeah, all right.
You probably will.
Back in the day where they used to just hire dudes that were, this is when Shaq was playing. They had to hire dudes that didn't even play in the NBA just to foul this dude. Just find any 7-footer.
And then he did.
He did it.
Like
There was nothing I could do about it.
He backed up whatever he said. If he tell you going to hit a shot to a certain place, or if he going to take you down to the post, turn around, hit a fadeaway J, he going to do just that, and ain't nothing you can do about it.
The story sounds so made up, but it's being told by NBA players, which makes it an amazing story. It's at the highest level. I mean, because it's so disrespectful.
Good luck.
And then he did.
He did it.
Well,
There was nothing I could do about it.
He backed up whatever he said. If he tell you gonna hit a shot to certain place, or if he gonna take you down to the post, turn around, hit a fadeaway J, he gonna do just that, and ain't nothing you can do about it.
These guys came in together in '81. There's Kevin, there's Larry, there's Robert, Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge. They knew what each other could do. And what I did was said, okay, let's see what's happening out there. And you'd see Larry shooting a three-pointer, and then I'd call a timeout, and they didn't count the three-pointer.
Larry just hit what would have been the game-winning shot, but KC called timeout.
It won't count. It does not count.
Before the replay.
Austin had called a timeout.
Larry came back to the bench, and he was a little upset.
So he's very upset with that, so I diagrammed the play. He says, head with the play, Case.
Hey guys, when I come back after timeout, I'm going to go right to the same spot. I'm going to kick it in.
Give me the ball and tell all the rest of the guys to get out of the way. I said, shut up, Larry. I'm the coach here. Okay, all right. Dennis, you take the ball out, give it to Kevin, then you throw it to Larry, and everybody get the hell out of the way.
Celtics are down by 2 points, and Bird is out by the three-point line, and he's being guarded by a guy named Johnny High.
He goes down before the ball is thrown in, and he's standing right in front of the Phoenix bench, and he looks at all the guys on the bench and says,
yeah, I'm just fixing to bust a three on you guys and just go home. I'm tired of this.
And he says,
I love the edit where they get one of the players to repeat what he said.
Points. And Bird is out.
This is vicious.
By the three-point line, and he's being guarded by a guy named Johnny High.
He goes down before the ball is thrown in, and he's standing right in front of the Phoenix bench, and he looks at all the guys on the bench and says,
yeah, I'm just fixing to bust a three on you guys and just go home. I'm tired of this.
I love it. I absolutely love it. That is my personality, especially I was a trash talker as well. So, of course, I'm nobody playing basketball at the wire on the basketball court, but I definitely would talk trash to you 100%, especially if you have an ego.
Says, watch my hand as I follow through.
And, Johnny High sort of smiles and laughs about it.
And I was supposed to cut off the high post and post up for a second and then go across and set a pick. Well, I came off the pick and I was wide open and I stood there waiting for the ball. I had a smaller guy to post up and Larry just waved me out of the way saying, get out of here, get out of the way.
And then he just turns around and shoots a perfect three.
As the ball's in the air, he kind of turns towards the Phoenix bench.
That just looks crazy. Is that off one foot?
There waiting for the ball. I had a smaller guy to post up and Larry just waved me out of the way saying, get out of here, get out of the way.
And then he just turns around and shoots a perfect three.
As the
1 foot effortlessly.
Ball's in the air, he kind of turns towards the Phoenix bench and yells, told you so. He's out running to the locker room.
As he continues on to the dressing room. Now that's what you call arrogance.
Yes. And it's great basketball.
From that time, I learned to run Larry's play, not the coach's play.
He wanted the light on him. He wanted the focus, and he wanted that ball. And in case he would ever call somebody else's play, Larry would just say, no. I'm shooting this ball, and he would.
I get a charge when I tell someone on the opposing team that I'm going to hit the last second shot and then do it. That's what it's all about.
High game, 13 seconds to play. Celtics basketball.
During the timeout, I'm going through a play. And about that time, Larry steps in and says, Coach, why don't you just give me the ball and tell everybody to get out of the way? That's Larry. If he wants the ball, he wants the ball. After the timeout, we walked back on the court, and then Xavier was guarding him. So he tells Xavier, he says, I'm getting the ball.
I said, I know I'm going to be waiting. And he said, I'm going to get it right here. I'm going to shoot it right in your face.
5, and Bird has the basketball. Look out. Larry Bird, just phenomenal the way that...
He came out when at about that exact spot and shot a shot right in my face. And, he was like, I didn't mean to leave 2 seconds on the clock. I walked back to the sideline like, damn.
Larry Bird was one of the biggest trash talkers in basketball. And a lot of people say, really? They thought it was Reggie or Charles. Larry Bird talked more trash on the basketball court than anybody I've ever played against. So we playing him the last play. He says to James Worthy, he says, you guys don't have to worry about it. I'm going to go right over that corner. And I'm going to catch it, I'm going to shoot it, and I'm going to tie the game or win the game, whatever the case may be.
Wow.
They take the ball out, and I think it was either Danny or
DJ?
The late, great DJ.
Yeah.
You DJ coming down, right, with the ball. Oh, great DJ, that's good. So pass it to Larry, he's in that corner. Now I got to go out and close Larry Bird out. So as I'm running out to Larry Bird, he's talking trash to me. I don't know why you running out here. Who says that in the middle of the game? He said, I'm gonna wait till you get one step away from me and I'm gonna shoot it right in your face. So I got one step away. He shoots it all net. 3-pointer, good.
Beautiful. Take the ball out, man crow right to the corner, caught the shot, shot a three.
Now we live in such a different time now because you got, they're giving out awards for first, second, third, mediocrity. Everybody gets a trophy type thing. So, but this culture, it breeded that sort of mindset that at the time, it just makes for great sports, that competitive edge. And to be honest, I think most people would talk if you're confident in your abilities and you have the talent Larry Bird has. Yeah, you're probably going to talk trash.
Hey, it's like, are you effing kidding me?
And he turned to me and said, "You did all that running for nothing."
And he was saying in such a calm way that you didn't think it was trash talking, but it's trash talking. You're not going to tell me you're going to go over there and shoot the ball in my face. That's trash talking. But he would tell you before the play even started. He'd tell you where he's going. He'd tell you when he catches, there's nothing you can do about it. And it was great trash talking because it wasn't vulgar. I mean, he wasn't pounding his chest. You can just be standing next to him. I would jump out and try to block a shot on rotation, and he'd say, Scott. You jump high, but you don't jump that high. You can't get this.
And the thing about it, too, is that pump fake, he's pump faking at his height. You have to jump so high to. So if you fall for it, you really fall for it like that guy did, and he had a beautiful pump fake.
All right, you're a little too late. Scott, you're not getting that. Why are you even jumping? Why are you running out of it? But it was all game.
He'd say something like, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. He talked the whole game, and it was, after the game and after years of thinking about it, you're like, man, that dude, why he's one of the greatest players ever played.
He was ridiculous. He came on here. Our sportscaster played the Superman theme when he was talking about him that night after the game because he did everything, points, rebounds, assists, just steals, you name it. Larry has such a great mind for the game. I had a lot of respect for him as a competitor.
And a beautiful finesse.
That competitive nature, the work ethic, because I asked a lot of questions.
I know that's where Kobe got his pump fake because Kobe has a really, really great pump fake, and I'm looking at Larry, and I know that Kobe studied all the greats. So when I was looking, I was like, that pump fake kind of reminds me of the way Kobe does, where he uses his entire body,
Playing with Byron Scott, I asked him a lot of questions. Eddie Jones, Magic, James Worthy, Kurt Rambis, all the Laker greats, I would always sit down and just ask them questions. What actually happened there? What did you feel there and why? Bird tough to defend, why? Because he looks slow as shit to me. So I'm
right.
Missing something. So
I've always, in my mind, when I was a kid, I was like, he doesn't look athletic, has a muscle. People, this Larry Bird guy, get out of here, stop it.
Tell me what I'm missing, you know what I mean?
Like I was saying, growing up in Boston, people all used to always talk about
Ewing.
that he can't jump, he can't do this, he can't do that. And, a lot of my friends was like that, So, I got to the league. I called all my friends back up. I said, all that trash that you were talking, you need to squash all that. This man is great. Whatever you were saying, for a man who can't jump, he's demolishing everybody. He's doing it on everybody. He's doing it on the best defensive players in the league.
Yeah. I never forget driving, and I'm listening to a game. It's New Mexico State playing Indiana State. I don't really care about the game, but New Mexico State is right up the streets from El Paso, and I went to UTEP, and we're big rivalries. So I'm hoping that Indiana State will beat New Mexico State. And I'm listening to the radio, and I have no clue of the players on either team. All of a sudden, this name keeps coming. Bird. He goes to the right, Bird. He makes the shot, Bird. I said, God damn, who is Bird? Bird. Here's Bird. And Bird this, and Bird, did you see the pass that Bird made?
Wow.
I can't see it, but I'm just trying to imagine it.
That's an amazing pass, by the way.
The team. All of a sudden, this name keeps coming. Bird. He goes to the right, Bird. He makes the shot, Bird. I said, God damn, who is Bird?
I said, God damn.
Bird. Here's Bird. And Bird this, and Bird, did you see the pass that Bird made? I can't see it, but I'm just trying to imagine it. When the time I got to the end, I said, damn, that brother can play. When I got the newspaper the next morning and saw Larry's picture, I said, damn. Larry, it wasn't you, be honest with you. The young lady that said you were her favorite player, Mine too. I love you too, Magic, but not as much as I like Bird.
That guy's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
People always talk about great basketball players, and they don't never mention him to be up in that round. But Larry Bird was cold. I don't think nobody ever could get out with him. You ask Magic. That's why Magic had a run, and he was mad when he had to retire in '92 because of what he was going to be missing with Larry Bird. And then you remember Larry Bird took 2 more years, and then he quit because he said his main guy who he wanted to play against is gone.
I'm going to tell this story. We're in L.A., and I'm hurt.
They got a pulled hamstring, so I'm not playing tonight.
So I can't play against the Celtics. You know, I'm killing myself. You know, Larry warming up. The anthem is sung and get introduced. And right before they go out on the court, Larry comes down and says, you know what?
Since you here, I'm gonna put a show on for you. So you just sit back and watch, okay?
Don't worry. I'm gonna put a show on for you.
And I'm like, man, get out of my face, man. Want to hear that? You know, that's Celtics and the Lakers.
Yeah. And he went out. I think he scored 38 points, about 20 rebounds, about 15 assists. Wow. And every shot he would shoot, he would turn to me.
Every time he hit one, he look at me.
And I said, boy, you know, the thing about it that I love about you is that most guys talk trash and can't bag it up. But Mr. Bird, you know you can bag your trash talking up.
This is really incredible. What I love about this era is there will never be another era that loved the game more than the people who put it on. You know, the people who laid the foundation. As you can even see when they talk about it while they're playing and them talking about it after they've played, they talk about a love for the game that's more rare today that you'll see it. There's a lot more prima donnas in the NBA now with load management, and they're making more money than, I think Charles Barkley said the most money he made in the NBA was $5 million. Okay, as far as with his contracts. So that's why I like watching these videos. I like the competitive nature. I also like that they get that it's just business. You know, it's not all of this hate that, you know, they have for each other. They're really friends at the end of the day.
And last but not least, I'm going to say this because you told me one lie. You only told me one lie in your career. Only one. And you only lied to the fans and all the people in the world one time. Do you know what that lie was? You don't remember, do you? Larry Bird said that there would be another Larry Bird one day. And Larry, there will never, ever, ever be another Larry Bird.
No, it's not Jokic. It's not Dirk, even though I love Dirk.
And so, this is mine, and I signed it to you, to the greatest basketball player ever, but more important, a friend forever.
It starts to make sense because I used to see a lot of older guys. They would say that Magic's the greatest, and someone would say that Larry's the greatest. And I was like, I used to think they were tripping. Like, Mike's the greatest, and Mike is the greatest, and still in my opinion. But I wouldn't make an argument against like Larry or Magic if that's, you know, your favorite player you think is the greatest of all time. I wouldn't make an argument against that.
I love you, I respect you, and I admire you.
Simply because of their love for the game. Not everybody likes trash talking. They think it's bad sportsmanship, and to a degree it can be. But there's an art to it, and I think that this video did a great job of displaying with it, because when he trash talked people, it didn't seem to come from an extremely malice place. It seemed to come more from a place of having a sense of humor, but also to psychologically, I'm pretty sure if the game was on the line, to get into his opponent's head. All right, if you know this guy is capable of doing what he says he's going to do, and you see him do it time and time again, now he's talking trash to you, that's got to affect your game, okay, in some kind of way. So yeah, this was enjoyable. I love doing these sports things. If you guys like it, do me a big favor, let me know that by liking the video. If you like my videos, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll stay up to date whenever I post. Leave me a comment, man. If you grew up watching these guys play, what was it like? What was your favorite thing about it? Do you have a favorite player? Do you think, matter of fact, where does Larry Bird rank as far as your all-time greats? For me, you know, I got Mike number one. This is kind of tough. I got Mike number one. I got LeBron. Between LeBron and Larry Bird, I really struggle with those two. Okay, I'm gonna, because I love Larry Bird's heart, but I love LeBron James is like the greatest athlete, one of the greatest athletes we've ever seen. You're guaranteed to get a championship if he's on your team, regardless. I think with both of these guys, if they play for your team, at some point, if you have any decent management skills managing your team, you're going to get a ring at some point in their career. That's for Larry or LeBron. And LeBron is a jack of all trades. But my personality gravitates to the way Larry Bird plays. So, I mean, I'll make a stand on it. I'll say Jordan number 1. I'm still going to hold off on LeBron number 2. And then I got like Larry at number 3. And then I got Shaq at like number 4 because I know people, I got Shaq over Kobe. All right. I love Kobe. But when Shaq played with Kobe, you know what I mean? When he was in his prime, he was the best player on the team. And we've never seen a force like Shaq. At number 5, this is where it kind of gets really tough for the 5th spot. I could put Kobe there. I could put Magic there, but I'm a bigger fan of Kobe than Magic. I know, you know what I mean? It's just my personal bias. But I love Magic. You know, yeah, I think I'll go with that. But this changes from time to time. Don't get my favorite player mixed up with, like I said, Charles Barkley, one of my favorite players, as in my top 5. But Charles Barkley's one of my favorite players, but I don't even think he's the greatest power forward. I think Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward of all time. But that's just my opinion. You guys let me know yours. I'm rambling. Like the video, all that good stuff. Peace.